Next we're back to Oceanhorn, Monster of Uncharted Seas to finish it off. Last time we left off at 44% and we're on our way back to Hermit's Island to figure out how to find the final emblem, the Emblem of Sun. The Hermit is waiting for me near the pier, but first I go fishing. I pull up a blue fin, completing the Catch a Blue Fin challenge. Not even a minute into the video and I've already leveled up to level 10, Voyager. Jumping and rolling now consume less stamina. Now I have the trencher boots, I can also jump across to the first bloodstone I ever saw and get it. That's all 2 of them for this island. I talked to the Hermit, who says that I may have noticed that floating island I pointed out last time. That island contains the Emblem of Sun. The Sky Island was once the heart of the Arcanian Kingdom, but after the catastrophe, a sudden force of Trilov lifted a chunk of it into the sky. Thanks to the package I found for him in the Great Chronicler's grave, he has a way to get me up there. But I need to get him a few things first. First thing he needs is a stool. I take the one in front of his house. Next thing he needs is a travel bed, so I take the one from my tent. I take it back to see he's already started building something. Next he wants a burning fireball. This can be found on the tiny bit of land I found that last bloodstone. The final object he needs to finish this thing is a weather cuckoo. I'll skip most of the resulting search because I looked everywhere on this island. There isn't one here, not on this island. Instead of looking for one, I decide it can wait and take a detour to the old fortress, which I haven't been to yet. However, on the journey there, the sky darkens and I'm suddenly stopping off at a new island. The kid sees his dad playing a flute and praying to the goddesses to help his son and says a lot of vague stuff about being lost with Oceanhorn and waiting for the chance to be reunited with his son. Also, the third god is pronounced differently each time. Trito the first time and Trito the second. With that hallucination over, I continue to the old fortress. The father's notes has him pondering the chance of finding a weapon here to fight Oceanhorn with. I head up some stairs, take the first left I can, and jump to a chest containing 10 arrows. I continue north to the edge where I can find this island's first bloodstone. I go west up a slope and then north across a bridge to another chest containing a key. Continuing east, I run across the top of this wall to a second bloodstone. I get off the wall and drop down into this area filled with direfolk. I take them out and unlock the door on the east. It leads to another door taking me inside. The game says this is a cellar, but it just looks like every other cave to me. I go north and east, take out the enemies, then south at the east end and at the fork, go east into the direfolk's hideout. There are 2 closed jail cells and the switches to open them nearby. One has a chest with a key inside, and the second is just a note about someone escaping during an earthquake. Back at the switches I can go south or east, but I choose east. I ignore the lever for a bit and go down some stairs to the third bloodstone. I hit the lever to lower the nearby gates and continue east into this little maze filled with rats. Around the northern end I see an ogre carrying a master key, so I weaken it with pots thrown from above and go even further north to push down a block so I can drop down. But first I finish the ogre with a lump of metal for that key. I go east up some stairs and north of the fork to a room with 2 normal chests and the master chest. The normal ones contain 100 coins and 5 coins. But the master chest is elevated, and there's a pair of blocks stopping me from jumping to it. So it's back to the fork and east to an entrance that was blocked by an earthquake. I blow it open with the bomb and keep going. It takes me outside to the abandoned pier. It's just a one-way path back to the start of the island, so I go back in. Finally, it's the southern path from the fork to a locked door. I unlock it and take the ladder to the second floor. I continue east to find 2 jail cells and another locked door. I open the first to take on a Sepede, and then the second one gets me a key so I can unlock that door. It leads to a bridge going north and west. To the north I knock this spike ball into a switch to open the gate to the north before I take the western exit back outside. I see it leads to another one-way drop, so I go back in for now and through that gate. I follow the path west to a room with a hole in the middle. Dropping down it puts me in front of the master chest. It contains the ice spell, used to freezing objects and enemies. I backtrack to that western exit I was just at and drop down to the south. I run around the building to the east to find a chest containing 50 XP and this island's 4th and final bloodstone. A small bridge to the south leads to another chest with my 8th heart piece, getting me my 2nd health increase. I backtrack higher up so I can drop down to another chest here for 150 coins. With that I leave this place and set course back to Tikkarel. Lisa says everyone is jealous of Niti for getting to watch the fireworks with the kid. Is everyone on the island in love with this guy or something? I run around until I gather the last few coins I need to reach 1,000, and then at the shop I buy a full heart container, increasing my maximum health to 7 hearts. I want to do a bit of item collecting, so I head back to the Withered Lands. Around the middle of the island I can jump over a broken bridge to find my first bloodstone on this island. In the northeast corner I can climb up a little, jump over a gap, and then drop down for the second bloodstone of this island. In the northwest corner of Rigger's now abandoned home, I can jump to that chest I couldn't reach last episode for 50 XP. Inside the desert caves there was this one bloodstone I didn't know how to reach. I just blow up the wall in front of it. That's 3 out of 4 here. I take the Desert Caves exit that puts me on top of the hills, and I drop down to the north to find the final Bloodstone on this island. And then, from the pier where I start, I go west a little and blow up a bit of wall so that I can reach the final chest on this island containing 100 coins. It sounds like that all went pretty quick, but I've just skimmed over 35 minutes of messing around. Back to the world map. Next is the Great Forest. I fish for a few minutes until I get a particularly stubborn one. It turns out to be another new fish, a Goliath. The Catch a Goliath challenge is also complete. To the east I can jump across some gaps to find this island's second Bloodstone inside a chest, and just slightly north and up some stairs from that I can jump across to the third Bloodstone. Back inside the Restless Grove, there's this one bit of wall I can blow up to find the fourth and final Bloodstone for this island, but I'm only at 93% for this island. I missed an easy to find chest marked on my map in the Forest Shrine. Just south of the first bridge that had a locked door under it, I blow up a bit of wall for the final chest containing 50 coins. And there's another island fully complete. Only 6 minutes into the video and I've already brought up my total completion by 15%. Next location is the Reef, which I haven't visited yet. There are 2 Bloodstones here, one right next to where I start and another up some stairs on the east end of the island. I go fishing here and pull up another new one, the Fireback. It completes the Catch a Fireback challenge. The XP from that challenge gets me to level 11, Vanguard. My maximum arrows have been increased to 20. Back to Tikkurel. I talked to the Master Adventurer inside the Adventurers Guild building for him to tell me of the existence of Graveyard Island, letting me discover it. Back to the world map and I make the newly discovered Graveyard Island my next destination. The farmer has even been here too. Even he was unnerved by this place and the thousands of graves. Some belong to nobles and knights, but in the time since, most graves have been looted by thieves. Of course, the first thing you'll want to do in a place like this is fish. I get another incredibly stubborn one that takes a couple minutes to defeat, which turns out to be an Arcadian pike. The Catch an Arcadian Pike challenge is completed. I fish some more, and get an even more stubborn one with a strength bar that depletes painfully slowly. I do not exaggerate when I say I wrestled with this one fish for 9 minutes, it was that strong. I finally pull it up and it turns out to be a ghost fish. You can tell it's rare because the Catch a Ghost Fish challenge I completed gave me a huge 400 XP. You wouldn't know by watching this, but I've been on this island for 20 minutes already and only now am I starting to explore it. I start by heading southwest into this area filled with spiked floors. At the east end of it is a chest containing a key. I head closer to the pier and go north up some stairs to find a house. It's the Gravekeeper's hut. I go through another door in here and find a wall blocking my path forward. I use the force spell on the switch all the way in the back to lower it, letting me reach this ladder. It leads into the Knight's Tomb. At the fork there's a master door I can't open, so I blow up the wall opposite and go that way. It leads to a chest with 200 coins inside. There's also a bit of wall I can blow up to reveal a lever that raises a block in case I didn't have the trencher boots to reach the chest with, but I've already hit a dead end this way, so it's back outside. Outside the hut I can drop down to grab this island's first Bloodstone. All the way west from the pier is a door I unlock. I find a letter to the gardener telling him he locked up the gardens but there are still skeletons inside. I guess we now know why there's no one here anymore. Heading north I hit a lever that lowers one of 2 walls blocking me from a chest. Slightly southwest of that chest is another lever that lowers the other wall. The chest contains another key. I go south from here, which is where the skeletons start appearing. As I continue south I see a Bloodstone on the opposite side of the fence that I can't reach from here, so I run all the way back to the chest with the first key and run along the wall here to reach it. Back to where I was before, I keep heading south to find the third Bloodstone. Back north a little bit and west to reach some stairs to another chest. This one has 25 XP. A little north of here is a grave claiming to be mine. I ignore it and continue north. I reach a closed gate and turn west. I run over this tiny bit of wall and finally get a chance to use the ice spell to easily take out the fire ghosts. North some more is the final Bloodstone of this island. I backtrack and still on the west path, go down these stairs and south. I cross the boardwalks to reach a chest containing a heart piece. Back at the gate I continue north and get met with a lot of enemies. After they're dealt with, I open the chest for 20 coins. I use the force spell on this lever to open the gate I passed. Through the gate I go up a ramp and west over a bridge. I follow this path north to a locked door and unlock it. It leads back into the Knight's Tomb. I cross the spiked floors to the east and blow open a doorway to a switch at the end. The switch opens the nearby door going south. Opposite that door is a chest containing 5 bombs. Just next to the chest I can run along the wall back near the entrance and jump across to another chest. This one has 100 coins. Then it's through the door. It leads to a room filled with statues and blocks. All I have to do is push one out of the way so I can reach the stairs in the corner, which leads to a gravestone detailing the final battle between the Arcadian army and Mesmeroth. Then I need to push one block in this spot so that when I go up the stairs and up this ramp, I can drop down on it to reach the doorway going south. That then leads to a door to another screen. Right away I blow up some rubble for a chest containing 25 coins. I go south to a lever that lowers one wall in front of the block to the north, but then raises another one next to it. All I have to do is push both blocks north a little to fill gaps. I follow the path it creates to a room where at the north I can blow up a bit of wall blocking a ladder, and to the east is a chest with 5 bombs. Before going up that ladder, I go south of the lever to another ladder. It takes me to a chest with 25 coins inside. Then I go up the other ladder. There's a spiked pit here, but slightly east is a lever that raises the wall through it so I can cross. It leads to the chest requiring a master key, and next to it is the door, so I'm at the other side of the dead end from the Gravekeeper's hut. Back across the pit, I go west, dodging arrows from the walls. I go up some stairs to another chest with another 5 bombs. I cross the bridge and blow up a wall blocking me from another ladder. Down here I follow the path west to a locked door guarded by an ogre holding the key. I kill him and go east a little more to another chest containing 150 coins. I unlock the door, and in this next room I run along the western edge halfway through to find a lever that lowers a wall at the northern end blocking a chest. This finally gets me the master key. I use it on the chest to obtain the cure spell, use mana to recover health. I unlock the door next to the chest and this island is now 100% complete. I hang around on the island for a further 11 minutes, killing skeletons until I complete the still going challenge for killing 50 of them. The XP from it gets me to level 12, Centurion. My maximum bombs have been increased to 15. With that, I return to the world map. I next return to Southwind Isle. In the room where I saved Faye's husband last time, I push a crate over an enemy to kill it and complete the train wreck challenge. In the room leading to that one, I can blow up this chunk of wall here to find that this particular recording session got corrupted along the way. There's a lot of skipping in the recording, so sorry about that. I'm not sure why this section exists though, because there's nothing in it, just a waste of bombs. But near the entrance of the cave, there's this gap in the bridge I couldn't jump earlier. It takes me to an exit that puts me outside in a new area. I jump over the river and reach the third and final bloodstone of this island. I head north and down towards this water, swim across to a ramp and blow up a wall to create some stairs. I follow the path south to some more water leading to a chest containing 100 XP. Back along the path is a hidden exit back into the cave. It leads to a tunnel going straight west, leading back outside to a chest containing a heart piece. I'm particularly annoyed that bit got corrupted. For some reason, the final 17% was obtained by getting in the water here and filling in the rest of the map, but I got stuck in the water and had to restart the game after the autosave. I'll even choose Bomb Island, since it just has 6% remaining to complete. This was easy. From where the chest spawned from moving the statue is, I just jump across some platforms to the 6th and last bloodstone here. That's another one 100%. Next target is Gilfolk's Drop. In Deep Cove, through the first gate I can go up some stairs and blow up a wall. It leads to a chest containing 5 coins. And right next to it I can jump over to the 5th and final bloodstone for this island. Where I had to do the block puzzle to open a gate leading to the Frozen Palace, I run around the gate and along the top to see a heart piece on top of the giant shell that I can jump to. Gilfolk's Drop is now also 100% complete. Next is back off to the old fortress for that last 7%. During this visit I complete the Shish Kebab challenge for killing an enemy with a burning arrow. This one I'm embarrassed I missed. In the Direfolk's hideout I just go south of the jail cell switches for a chest that's out in the open. It has 20 coins and Old Fortress is 100% complete as well. I run around killing the Direfolk here until I complete the Old Enemy challenge for killing 100 of them. Next is back to Tikkurel to just buy some random shit, including a second chance potion that revives me with 1 heart if I'm killed. This is to complete the Hey Big Spender challenge for spending a total of 2,000 coins. This one gives me an insane 750 XP reward and boosts me to level 13, Knight of Arcadia. The Coral Saber now shoots light missiles when at full health, like in the first 2 Zelda games. I have 45 Bloodstones. It's not all of them, but enough for the collector to give me the Triloff spell. This is the final spell in the game, and collecting them all completes the Wizard challenge. He says he swam under the Arcadian ruins to find that spell. But now we're in a new recording session, so hopefully corrupted video is not a problem from now. I steal the Weather Cuckoo from the top of Mito and Niti's house. If Niti is in fact my girlfriend now, it shouldn't be an issue. Time to finally get back to Hermit's request. I give it to him and he tells me to also bring my boat to him. Using all the parts we gathered for him, he's built a hot air balloon and attached it to my boat. He's also triggered one of the best music tracks in the game as the boat floats the kid up onto the Sky Island. He crashes the boat and we get some actual important information from the father's notebook. When he was a child, he met a girl named Mary who claimed to have fallen from the sky and also claimed to be an amnesiac. It's clear that Mary is the kid's dead mother. I go down a few sets of stairs and then head north and across a bridge going south. I can look through one of the telescopes to see the island where the kid grew up with his parents, discovering Home Island. I blow up a chunk of wall and go down to find the first Bloodstone. I go back up and head east to find another take on a Zelda enemy. Like the BMOS, these fire a laser at me if they see me. I just quickly run past it and take the northern path. It takes me to a building labelled as the Grand Core, but I can't enter it just yet. At the northern edge, I go up a slope and jump across to my first chest of the island, containing 3 arrows. Back to the BMOS-like, where I trick a bird into flying into its laser and dying, completing the Blastem challenge. In front of the Grand Core is a target to shoot with my bow, lowering a wall to the south of the laser. After the wall, I continue south and take the western fork. It leads to my first new enemy in a while, a large suit of armour with a huge sword. I hang back and slowly plink away at its health with my sword missiles. To the northeast is the island's second bloodstone. I cross a bridge to the east to find a lock. I don't have a key, so I continue north past the lock. All the way northeast and through a gate, I find a town. The first guy I talk to shits himself. The house behind him is a shop, but he has nothing unique. Going west and up some stairs, an old woman tells me I should talk to Grandmaster Ludwig, who's in his study. But first I go in the house to the north. The scholar inside tells me that the Grand Core was the power source of Arcadia and was connected across every island back on the surface, powering all their machinery. I then go into the building to the east to meet this Ludwig. He's thrilled to see a kid flying a boat onto the island. He says that everyone is a descendant of Arcadians. Learning that I'm after the Emblem of Sun brings back memories for him. One of their traditions was that every year they selected a young woman to represent the goddess of light, Sol. She would be given the Emblem of Sun and would in return bring joy to the people of the island. But 20 years ago, a scholar went mad studying the Arcadian code. He claimed a ghost in the machine had promised him it would bring Sky Island back to the surface and that he needed the Emblem of Sun to do so. Everyone in the village believed this promise, leading to the woman throwing herself off the island. It's confirmed that this is Mary, the kid's mother, when we are shown the father seeing her fall from the sky. But no one on the island found out what happened to her or the Emblem of Sun. He points out that since we smashed up our boat getting here, the kid is stuck here now, but Ludwig says he'll get used to living here. Also that. Meanwhile, the mad scholar has been eavesdropping on us. There's a pair of unlit torches in here that I use a fire spell on, but it doesn't do anything, and I'm disappointed. I can check out a book about Mesmeroth that tells me he was in fact a bad bloke. To the north, another scholar says that the only way to land the island is to shut down the Terramite engine in the Grand Core, but since it's shut, they can't. He does say though that planting bombs on the cables running underneath the island could work. There's one book written by someone using a telescope to watch the death of Sealork. It also confirms that Oceanhorn, Sealork and the third one are in fact the living fortresses mentioned in one of Teppo's notes. Then there's a book on Archimedes. Reading that last one completes a scholar challenge for studying Arcadian history. As I return to the main room, it seems the torches are glitched, as the chest keeps spawning and despawning repeatedly before I can open it. I eventually manage to open it for a key before I go up the ladder south of Ludwig. Up here I can discover Graveyard Island with a telescope if I hadn't already, but that's all up here. I drop down and the mystery man tells me that the scholars are lying to me and that he does know a way to get off the island. He tells me to use the key I got to enter the caverns nearby. He'll meet me at the far end of the cave. But first there was a cave I skipped near the start of the island. But I can't do anything in here anyway, so I leave and go unlock the gate to the cave I'm aiming for, the storm shelter. I follow the main path north and take the west around to a chest with 10 bombs inside. Back on the main path I follow it to a room with a locked door. I have to push this statue away to spawn the chest containing the key. So I unlock the door and follow the path south and west until I find 3 switches with crates next to them. I try pressing all the switches but that doesn't do anything, until I realise there's a 4th switch to reveal by blowing up some rocks. Then pressing them all will open this door. Hitting the lever through the door will raise some nearby blocks for me to jump across. I get back to following the main path north and east until I catch up with the guy. He tells me to bomb the machinery up the stairs. This guy has a really shady voice and he's obviously the mad scholar from the flashback, but I do it anyway. This opens the door to the Grand Core and the guy's missing, along with Mary's necklace. But opening the Grand Core completes the Champion from Below challenge. Up the stairs I can drop down to the other cave entrance. As I leave I see the guy running into the Grand Core, so I run in after him. As soon as I enter this place I'm already faced with a locked gate. I go north to reach a chest containing 10 bombs, then it's south to the island's 3rd bloodstone. I get on the bridge going south which a sign says leads to the maintenance sector. I go up the ladder to see a line of blocks and 2 flamethrowers firing on them. I push a crate to block one of them and then wait for the other one to stop so I can run by. It leads to a boxed in laser and 2 of a new kind of switch. I destroy the boxes and try to lead the laser to these switches thinking that's the solution, but these walls are still in the way. I give up and go back to the 1st floor. I get on the bridge going north, blow up the crate blocking my path and jump across to the warehouse sector. I run past another laser to reach a ladder going down. I take the first seat I find and blow up the spiked ball there, completing the Encyclopedia Monstrum challenge for killing one of every enemy in the game. Going back and north takes me to a load of blocks with markings on the floor. Place a block on every marking to open the gate. It leads to a switch that spawns a chest but also activates a flamethrower. So I go back to that eastern section to push down a crate and use it to block the flames. The chest contains a key. I use it to unlock the gate at the start. These suits of armour suddenly become much tougher to defeat when not at full health, as normal sword strikes don't affect them, so I just run past it. I do discover that their backs are vulnerable though. I try going north but the door is closed and there's another of those switches there. But I can jump to behind that switch and find that the lasers definitely activate them. I go through the newly opened door and down the ladder. This is a showroom. There's a lever right away that lowers some of the blocks here, but not all. And then there's a spinning machine that lowers others when struck. Once again I give up quickly and leave. So I check out the southeastern area of the first room. I destroy a load of crates but they only lead to 2 chests needing the master key. Let's skip about 10 minutes of clueless faffing about until I finally figure out what to do. I use the lever to lower the blocks so I can climb this slope and then use the force spell to lift them back up. I then use the trencher boost to jump across to another block. Then I just jump to the other side. It was that simple. There's a locked gate so I go south to press a switch that raises some blocks on the western end. But it's timed, so I leave it for now and check out what's further south. I jump across a couple platforms to the 4th bloodstone and a chest containing 10 arrows. Now it's time to raise that switch. During the race I have to make sure I hit this machine to raise the blocks on the west so I can jump across properly. From there I head north and drop into the water to the left so I can open a chest for 10 more arrows. Back on the path I blow up some crates to reach a doorway to a target that shooting spawns a chest with the key I need. I unlock the gate to see a chest guarded by another big guy I kill. Opening the chest gets me the Shield of Kronos. This upgrade to my shield reflects all forms of light, and I immediately realise what to do next. I return to the maintenance sector and reflect the laser to activate the left switch, which opens a gate, and the right switch, which opens a door. But first I go west through the gate. It leads to a switch that spawns a chest in the next room. But it's a pressure switch so it needs a force spell used on it. But I can't get to it from here, so it's back to the previous room and east through the door. The path leads to a bridge that has me dodging a laser and going up a slope to another switch. It temporarily floods the room so I use it to reach these stairs that take me to the eastern edge of the room where there's a chest with 5 bombs inside. I go up some more stairs to another chest with a mana refill inside. I cross this bridge to the west which leads me to another one to the chest I spawned with the pressure switch. It gets me the master key. To the north of that chest is another containing 50 coins and next to it the island's final bloodstone. Back to the first room to open those 2 master chests for 10 arrows and 10 bombs. Then the door for the key is just slightly north of those chests. There's the mad scholar who can't seem to get the island to drop. All the torches light and the statue next to him blows up in his face. A voice can be heard saying he senses the emblems of creation and will resurrect as a god. Behind me spawns the boss of this dungeon, Shadow Mesmeroth. He floats around throwing fireballs that damage me twice before they fade. He also teleports away from most attacks. The sword missiles, the pots and my arrows all get an instant dodge. I have to use the Shield of Kronos to reflect his fire at him, but it only deals minimal damage if it even hits. He'll split into 3 copies who all expose their cores and I have to try and guess the correct one. For his second phase he activates the 4 machines on the corners of the arena to raise 2 lasers. I get hit a lot and end up using my second chance potion. I hit the first machine to stop it but get killed, making me restart the fight. I do better next time and hitting all 4 machines shuts off the lasers, then it's bouncing more fire at him until he brings them back up. The cycle happens once again and I end up killed again. Next time I manage to damage him enough to expose his core a second time. The beating this time leaves him with the tiniest bit of health. He just sticks with throwing fireballs and 2 more hits has the core revealed again for me to finish him. He's another sore loser who claims his defeat means nothing before he explodes, just like the Dark Apostle who worshipped him. Now that I've reclaimed the necklace, it reveals itself to have been the Emblem of Sun all along and the goddess Sol says the same stuff the other 2 said. Couldn't she have just revealed herself earlier? The 3 emblems come together and form one. This is what finally allows the Sky Island to return to the surface. Ludwig shows up again and gives his thanks. The Grand Core is now connected throughout the Old Kingdom again, so the rest of the world can now benefit from its power once again. But it turns out the program that was trying to resurrect Mesmeroth is still active, but it has to move on to another machine, and the only remaining machine is Oceanhorn. The kid looks so bored listening to this, by the way. But thanks to the island studies, they can help me discover Arcadia Ruins. They've also fixed my boat and Arcadia Ruins is now a travel option. But this island is still only 84% complete. From the town, I can cross a little bridge and jump to the top of the Grand Core to reach a chest containing 100 XP. While looking around, an enemy I kill gets me to level 14, Master. The Cure spell will now cure 3 hearts. You know, when I remember it exists. Back in the Grand Court, there's this passage in the warehouse sector blocked by water and a block I can't figure out. This was embarrassing as well. It took over an hour to work out and I deleted all that footage because it was worthless. I just had to blow up this bit of wall that looked slightly different to the other bits of wall. I go through it and hit a machine to power a wall, blocking a chest containing 150 coins. Then slightly south is another chest with what was once the game's final heart piece. This gets me a full 8 hearts and completes the Vitality challenge. Then south of that is the block, so I push it down to create the way out. That's Sky Island at 100% too. When I get back onto the world map, Hermit tells me it's now time to take on Oceanhorn, but I should make sure to prepare myself first. For some reason I mess around in Riptide Reef for a bit and I can't remember why. At Tikkerel I try out the Triloft spell just to see what it does. It creates a black hole that on this island just sucks all the jars towards it and destroys them. Dan says that people from Sky Island are already visiting Tikkerel, so it seems like everything is going well. Next to the Adventurers Guild, I blow up a post holding up a book. It's a sailor's log containing the directions to the Island of Whispers. The directions are meant to help people avoid it, instead I've now got it as a new location. And that's where I decide to travel next. No notes from the father, no bloodstones either. That's because it wasn't part of the original release, it was updated in. Of course this Switch port always had it from the beginning since it was released 6 years later. Heading north and east a little takes me to a sign saying I'm close to Faroe Village. North of that sign is a locked gate and another saying it's the road to Fisherman's Harbour. To the east of that is some stairs with a crate blocking me at the top, so I go back and take the path east towards Faroe Village. Outside there's a sign saying the dead here are paying for their sins by being stuck in a purgatory for all eternity, but I can help them move on by collecting cursed skulls and bringing them to their graves. This is the main gimmick behind this island, the entire thing is a massive puzzle. South of that sign is a chest containing 10 arrows. I go east of the sign to enter Faroe Village. There are ghosts hanging around that give vague tips when I approach them. Even both of the houses by the entrance just have ghosts giving hints and nothing else. One hint I do take note of though, Fish has the key. I try the house in the north which does have a chest inside, but I can't reach it. But outside, next to that house is one of the cursed skulls just laying there. I have to beat it out of the ground like a bloodstone. The skull whispers a thanks to me and I get to see it placed on one of 10 pillars. His grave bursts from the ground saying he was a fisherman, whose key a wicked boy fed to a fish at the end of the shopkeeper's pier. When I regain control, the gravestone has appeared in the village, if I need to read the clue again. I continue up the stairs here to a house. Inside is a book that contains hints towards the ghost fish in case I hadn't found one yet. Just east of the pier I arrived in, I blow up this pair of crates and push another through the gap they make, then west against this wall, so I can jump over to this bridge and then go east of the gap I just made to reach a ladder. It leads down into some maintenance tunnels. I go through the doorway in the north where there's a target that doesn't seem to do anything when I shoot it. What I have to do is blow up these crates in the corner to reveal a hole that fires arrows, then push down this crate blocking its shot. When one of those arrows hits the target, it lowers a gate east but raises a second. I just have to pass through between arrow hits. I get going east to the end, north a little, and then blow up this dirt to reveal some stairs going west. But first I go through the door to the north. At the north end of this room is a chest hidden behind a wall. Next to it is a switch that does nothing yet. On the other side, I blow up more dirt to push a crate onto another switch. I then notice a second crate wedged in more dirt, so I blow that up and push it onto the first switch, but still nothing happens. Time to go up those stairs in the previous room. It leads north and I jump over a gap to reach my second cursed skull. This one belongs to an eavesdropper who saw the wicked boy use a beach entrance to the tunnels. Continuing along leads to a third switch that lowers the wall to the chest. It's timed, but I just barely make it. The chest contains a master key. I then jump over to the ladder next to me which puts me in a new area north of the village. Going southwest I can push the block at the top of the stairs from earlier out of the way to create a shortcut. Then to the west of the ladder I came from, I can push away another crate to unblock another path. Going south I reach the top of that locked gate from earlier. I blow up some stones so I can jump across the top of the gate, but not yet. I next go east from the ladder and over a bridge. Going south takes me to a sign saying that there's a hole in the wall between the watering pond and canal. I head north and up the stairs to a locked door. I go west from there, across more stairs until I can go south down even more. I go west into a Direfolk camp where a book says only an archer can open the gate being further to the west. But I don't see a target, so I backtrack up the stairs and drop down to a chest containing 2 bombs. I backtrack across the rest of the stairs and in the northeast corner blow up this wall to reveal more. They lead to my third cursed skull. This was the skull of a traitor who stole the wicked boy's treasure and threw it into the canal. This wall drops me back into the village and I use the master key to open the door connecting the village to the area I was just in. Next to the sign about the holes I can drop into the water. The stamina draining in water was removed for this island so I don't have to worry about drowning. In the southeast corner there's a hidden passage into the canals, which swimming through completes the secret passage challenge. In the northwest of the canals I can swim to some stairs that take me to my 4th cursed skull. This belonged to a mother who tried her best for the wicked boy, but her heart was shattered at the hidden beach. From there I dropped down to the west, taking me to the area across the river from the gate in the Direfolk camp. This is also the area behind the locked gate near the pier, the Fisherman's Harbour. I see a target to the west and I assume that's the one that opens the gate, so I go south and up some stairs to a lever that opens a door. But first I go west some more and up the stairs and across a bridge so I can shoot the target and open that gate. I then get jumping across the top of a locked gate finally. It leads me to the 5th cursed skull. It's the skull of a victim whose house was burned down by creation number 1. I enter that door I opened, which leads to more maintenance tunnels. Start by using a fire spell on a torch to set off a flamethrower that burns away a crate on top of the fence. The gate doesn't open though, so I leave. Time to go through that gate at the Direfolk camp. I go to the north end, jump the gap and keep moving east. I follow the path to the next checkpoint, putting me just above the Direfolk camp. I keep going east up several sets of stairs and across a bridge to reach a lever that drains the canals. Down the stairs I push this block down to connect this to the rest of the northeast section. I take the secret passage back to the canal to see if there's a master door I can now open. It leads into a secret study. There's a note of the person who discovered this place and started trying to make magic and technology bend to his own will. To the north there's a timed switch that lowers a wall. I stand on it and ride it back up to push down a crate. Then I get stuck for a bit. There's 2 more crates I can push to the south, but it can only end with me sticking them both together. So I push my first block down in front of the walls and lower them again so I can free it from all directions. I then push it south down the stairs and onto one of the markings on the floor. Or I would, but it got stuck against the stairs and I can't push it from that side. So I have to reset it to try again. But this time when I push that crate down, I jump the gaps to the south to reach a note from the same guy who looks down on the people of his own village as being simple-minded. Behind it is a chest containing a key. I realise what to do with the other 2 crates. I go back to the beginning and drop myself between them. From there I can easily place them both onto the markers which opens the gate to the north. There's another note behind it where the writer talks about his creation, who he has locked in a cage so that it doesn't kill him. He let it go once, which led to it attacking the town and burning down houses. It's implied this is his last note before the villagers rose up against him and killed him. I use the key to lower the wall, keeping me from this cage. It's one of those machines from Sky Island, but bigger. This is the creation number 2. This is a simple sword fight like the Oru Guardian and the Dark Apostle. It's made easier by me being able to damage it with the sword missiles, despite the minuscule damage they deal. So this ends up being a very easy but long fight where I hang back firing beams at it and don't take a single hit before it's destroyed. Killing it completes the Sleeping Giant challenge and opens the gate to the east. It leads to a master chest containing another heart piece. This island also added an extra 4 of them to the game. I go up the ladder which takes me to this part where I can jump to the 6th cursed skull. This was a hunters who tracked the creation number 1 to the Wicked Boy's lair. I believe the implication is that the Wicked Boy is the one who wrote the notes and built the creations. Now that the canal is drained, I can reach this chest in the southwest corner of it that used to be sunk. It has a mana refill and the 7th cursed skull inside. It belonged to a liar who clearly hid something under a bed. Time to finally follow that hint I got from the first skull and fish by the shopkeeper's pier. I get a bite and wrestle with it for a few minutes until I pull up a key. I use it to finally unlock the gate to the Fisherman's Harbour. As for the liar's hint, in the southern house in the village I bomb the bed to reveal some stairs to a chest with 50 coins inside. Just outside the village entrance I bomb the very north corner of the fence to get through and find 25 XP hidden under some grass. In the northeastern corner, just north of where the master door was, I can cross over the bridge leading above the canals and drop down behind the village's most northern house. I can walk in through the side and grab that chest I couldn't earlier for another key. In the Direfolk camp I just spot a skull poking out of this box, so I jump across to it and grab it. That's 8. It was the skull of an old friend who wanted to banish the Wicked Boy. I finally remember that locked door all the way in the northeastern corner of the island and unlock it. It leads into a grotto. It looks like a dead end, but I can blow open the back wall. It leads to a chest containing this place's second heart piece. Nearly 15 minutes later I'm back into the maintenance tunnel where I left the flamethrower going. I throw a bomb over the fence to blow up the wooden crate, propping up the metal one. This lets the flamethrower reach over to a torch on the other end and light it to open the gate. I take the southern path east to find this is the lower part of the tunnel where I got the master key. I could see it but not reach it until now. I push this one block forward to spawn a chest, but the block is in my way. There's another one to the south and I push it near these walls. I then take the northern path east, which lets me get above and drop down onto it, then jump across these walls to a bridge that I follow until I can jump to that chest and get the key inside. Back on the northern path, I use the key to unlock the door and jump to another chest for the 3rd heart piece, and right next to it is my 9th cursed skull. It was a wise man who showed the Wicked Boy a way out. I discover the final skull by pushing this statue around the centre north of the island. It belongs to a witness and says that envy and distrust turn men into demons. We then see all the ghosts float off into the sky. I gotta say, despite this island being a nightmare to script, there was a lot of going nowhere I had to skip over. The entire thing was probably the most engaging puzzle in the game for me. I've completed the Witness challenge for getting all those skulls. The 500 XP from it gets me to level 15, Archmage. My attack spells now do more damage. The island is still at 96%, so I just have a tiny bit more to do. I'm still missing the last heart piece. This is related to the Mother's Hint. It's hidden on a bit of beach just east of the pier under some grass. And that's me actually at full health now, all 9 hearts. Now I can finally leave this place behind. My next destination is Home Island. Here we learned how Mary died. She, the father and the kid arrived here in a storm and hid in the cave. Mary went outside for just a moment, but Oceanhorn showed up and fried her. He despairs that Oceanhorn was targeting him and only killed Mary because he was in the cave. Along the western edge of the island is its first bloodstone. I ignore the cave for now and go up the hills and find Mary's grave. Following the path west and south takes me to a chest with 50 arrows inside. Going all the way west from here takes me to the second bloodstone. South of that last chest is the kid's old house. But first I go south some more for a chest with a superb explorer crystal inside, worth 500 XP. And right next to it is the island's third and final bloodstone. I enter the house and inside there's another chest containing the kid's old toy soldier, worth 20 coins. I try entering the cave, but it's just for show, there's no extra screen, I've 100%ed the island. It's quite a nice place to be, it's the only other place in the game to play the title screen's music. The game is now 98%, nearly there. All that's left now is Arcadia Ruins. As I enter, I complete the Cosmopolitan challenge for visiting every island in the game. We finally get an explanation about why the kid and his father are connected to Oceanhorn. The living fortresses and their pilots are bound by blood, and they are descendants of Oceanhorn's pilot. They were meant to protect Arcadia until Mesmeroth destroying the world with Trilorth corrupted them. First thing I do is get fishing, but this fish is something else. Not only does its strength refill quickly, it also electrocutes me as I fight it, damaging me and putting me on a timer. You know the fish is tough when it gets one of the boss themes. I get it to the tiniest bit of strength, but it outdoes me and kills me. I decide it's best to just explore the island first. I head east, up some stairs and along a wall until it collapses underneath me. This drops me in front of the first bloodstone. Can't get back up from here, so I swim south to some stairs. I continue east to find the game's final new item, the mysterious flute. It looks damaged, but still works. I go back and head north, back onto that wall, and follow it to the other end for a chest containing 10 arrows. I keep going east for the game's final bloodstone. This completes the Crimson Collector challenge. This gives me 1000 XP and completes the Legend challenge for reaching level 16, Legend. Now I can carry 99 arrows and 99 bombs. I next try to fish again. When the fish gets away, I quit out hoping to restore my health. Bad idea. I don't blame the developers for this because I doubt a situation like this comes up often. The game saved on the completion of those challenges, but before granting me the XP, and it didn't save the completion of the island. So I'm back down to level 15, and I can't get the XP boost when I get those 2 bloodstones back because the challenges are still already flagged as complete. Oops. Well, I still have a couple challenges left, so I just get to fishing. But this is an absolute nightmare. It either escapes or kills me. During a routine health and mana refill, I complete the Unspawn challenge for killing 50 of the machines, and only now do I learn they are called Spawn. This goes on for about an hour until I finally get lucky and pull up a botfish. I will forever hate the botfish. I complete the Catch a Botfish challenge. This also completes fish sticks for catching one of every fish in the game. I am finally back at level 16. That's also every challenge in the game completed with me at 99%. I go down the ladder in the spot I found the flute. In this room there's another chest with 50 coins inside. It's a very simple path with no obstacles until I run into the father. I thought he left a few years ago. How long's he been laid out down here? He couldn't kill Oceanhorn, but he managed to disconnect it from its power grid so it can't repair itself anymore. He says that once this is over, they should visit Mary's grave to tell her about his adventures. Oceanhorn reactivates and the fight finally starts. I try smashing the nearby pots for some hearts, but Oceanhorn's laser keeps hitting me so they cancel each other out. I use the Shield of Kronos to reflect the laser and move around to make it hit one of its legs. It knocks Oceanhorn down and then I have to destroy the bulb on the side that fell down. Taking out both of them reveals the core on its face. Can't half-ass it because it will recover some of the damage you deal to it in that cycle. After I repeat the cycle and get it down to less than a third health, it starts rapid throwing bombs at me. But it's not that much of a threat and I bring it down one more time to take out that last bit of health. It looks dead, but Oceanhorn activates once again and jumps up to the top of the ruins. The kid follows it to the roof and sees the father jump on Oceanhorn's back and bury his sword into it, yelling to deliver the final blow. But he gets flung off into the sea. Final battle time. We can see a familiar looking glowing skeleton coming out of Oceanhorn, showing that Mesmeroth did indeed manage to get his spirit into Oceanhorn. While he tries to crush me and throw bombs at me, there are these 6 machines around the arena that activate when I hit them. There are also swarms hanging about. I create a connection between 2 machines and Oceanhorn walks into them, stunning it and prompting Mesmeroth to get involved, controlling a Dark Apostle. This one's tougher than usual and I only manage to take half of its health before he takes back control of Oceanhorn. I stun it again, but the Dark Apostle has refilled his health. I'm kind of stuck as I feel the battle isn't actually going anywhere. Once again I fail to kill him and foolishly stand in the middle of the 2 machines I'm connecting, frying myself to death. But this is a good thing, as I miss a single chest. South of the ladder into the ruins are some steps into water and I can swim south to some more ruins. I run around and cross a spiked floor to the final chest in the game, containing 100 XP I don't need. And now every island is at full 100% completion. Time to do the final fight properly. Once the Dark Apostle takes enough damage that it tries to run back into Oceanhorn, that's when I have to play the flute. This is what actually wins me the fight. The kid takes control of Oceanhorn away from Mesmeroth. He has it charge full force into Mesmeroth, knock him off the island and self-destruct, annihilating them both. The father's hat floats down and he climbs back up the cliff. The two then sit at the pier and talk. He realises that the corruption of the living fortresses was caused by Mesmeroth's corruption of the sacred emblems. It caused them to lose their purpose, and when Mary came to the surface with the Emblem of Sun, it awoke a part of Oceanhorn that began to search for a pilot. He then explains their ancestry in case the player missed it. He explains that living fortresses were the result of Archimedes combining magic, technology and blood. But he wasn't the only one, as Mesmeroth had done the same thing to bind his life to Oceanhorn to try and become immortal. And it ends with him saying it doesn't matter now and all that's left is to rebuild the world. I quite enjoyed this game. I did have a couple issues, mainly feeling the kid moves a little too slow and it's not always clear what I can and can't drop from or blow up. But I still enjoyed exploring the world and checking everything out, to the point that I felt a bit of disappointment when I realised I'd run out of new islands to explore. I haven't played a new traditional top-down Zelda since A Link Between Worlds. Triforce Heroes was its own thing and I still don't own the Link's Awakening remake. So this was a fun way to scratch that itch. But you know one thing this game definitely does better than most of the top-down Zeldas? The soundtrack. I'd forgotten how good it was since recording the playthrough and got to be surprised by it all over again coming back to make these videos. It let me know that the quality of mobile games was far above what I thought it to be in 2013, and it's made me interested to see how the sequel improved things. I hope I don't wait too long until I get around to playing it. These are the kind of surprises I like to get trying out a game for the first time for this show.